How's it going? Josh for 6 Up Tabletop, doing another unit review, talk through for Epic Battles Waterloo. Today we'll be covering the French Lancers. Yep, so let's just jump in. We're going to be talking about the painting process a little bit, some info about Lancers in the French army, and discussing this kit from Warlord Games for the Epic Battles Waterloo range. Let's jump in. So the Lancers are found on the light cavalry sprue for the French. There's a couple different poses, so you can see the plastic mold gates that you got to clip there. So yeah, there's a couple different poses for the lances, just as obviously as they put, or not obviously, but as they manufacture, they basically press the plastic together, so you can see how they wanted to have the lances kind of be on one side of the mold. Here's the one of the leaders you could use, and the squadron leaders you can use. Use him as a squadron leader, and you can also, like similar French kits, cut off his arm, his hand, and there's the little hand on the eagle, so you could attach that. There's two of these that come per sprue, so I just attached a flag for that, so it's cool to have the different flags flying for the French cavalry, whether they had them at the battle or not. Alright, let's take a look at the painted models. So this was how I had painted my Lancers. I did the 3rd Regiment, and they have a pink cuffs and pink vests. I'm not sure if I'm using the correct terminology, but they have the red and white flags in the Polish Lancer style. They have the Grecan horse plume, though it has a different name because it's slightly different than the other horse plumes. I have the flag there. Yeah, it's cool. I mean, historically, based on reading something about the Lancers and such, that only the first ranks of horses would actually carry lances, and the remaining ranks of cavalry would just wield the saber. They kept their green, as it appears that they evolved from older units of dragoons. Maybe lighter dragoons because they're classified as a lighter cavalry, and they picked up their lances later on by 1815 in Waterloo. I think there was 5 or 6 different regiments. Like I said, I picked the 3rd Regiment just purely for a hobby. I wanted to, I think the pink clashes, but in a good way. That's the fun thing about Napoleonics, is that there's a lot of different colors that are represented. It really makes, especially the French army and other armies in Spanish and such, have such cool color designs that I figured, why not? Let's throw in some pink, throw in some purple. I think they're an awesome addition. There's some reds mixed in there with some of the, I believe, like elite companies or elite squadrons and such. Could be wrong on that, but that's my understanding. Yeah, some fun facts, at least in the rule book that Warlord Games put out, detailing that the lance being 8 feet 10 inches, that is a pretty long lance. Cool to see that they have them modeled with lances here. Just for wargaming purposes, they look awesome on the table with the lances, even though if the majority of the Lancers actually fought with sabers. In terms of the kit itself, I feel like it's pretty standard with the typical Warlord kits. Still similar complaints, as you can see down the line, just with how they're produced, especially on this guy right here. You can see, he's holding the reins, but the reins are super chunky. There's some of the detail gets washed out in the chest and the vest plating here. Not plating, but just the vest. Other than that, yeah, still the reins are good. It's kind of, you have to like paint the details because the reins are kind of blocked into the horsehair, kind of blocked into the lance itself. So there are some downsides there. I mean, I enjoy how they turned out. I'm happy with the results. I use enamel on these guys. As you can tell, they got some dirt on the horses. I think it goes well with an off-white color. You can see in some details here of kind of how it sits in the recesses. I know not everybody does washes on this size of models, but I'm happy with with how they turned out. There's definitely some flaws in this kit in terms of how the horses are done, but I think that's me being a little bit more nitpicky. Just compared to painting 28 mil, it's nice that they do have lances, but there are only a couple poses, and that's just a constraint due to manufacturing. It'd be cool to see, some of the lances raised, or some of them pointing in a different direction, or some of them being thrusted. But unfortunately, we don't have that. It's a little bit static pose, but like I said earlier, still is an awesome representation of Lancers for the French army. Super happy how they turned out. It's going to be awesome to see them alongside their other light cavalry allies. In terms of the game, I know black powder, they get and basically reduce the enemy saving throw as such, due to the power of their lance, and then valor and fortitude, they're basically treated the same as basically like a light cavalry hussar or chasseur à cheval. So nothing particular to the lances. I think that's just supposed to represent that, just the front unit had lances and the other units had sabers, and they were good for meeting a charge, but they were also had a primary benefit of charging and chasing down units who were broken and fleeing and routing them. So that's all I got today. Joshua 6 Up Tabletop. We'll look forward to getting another unit on the table. Until the next time, we'll see you around. Take care.